I got to tell you, I hope you and your family had a wonderful Christmas. Now, we are pre-recording our Christmas and New Year's shows so that our staff will be able to have a little time with their own families, even if they're limited by distance or disease. Now, as we bring 2020 to a close, I think I speak for all of us when I say how very glad we are to end this year, which has been like no other. A global pandemic. Yeah, you clap for that. Yeah, I'm clapping. I'm glad. I mean, a global pandemic stopped the entire world in its tracks, and then a very divisive election season has been beyond brutal. Now, I want to say something to President Trump that I know will never be said by 99% of the media mob. Here's what I want to say. Thank you. Thank you. While China unleashed a virus on the world and destroyed many businesses, families, industries, and ultimately killed over 300,000 Americans, President Trump took decisive action that prevented the initial estimates of 2.5 million Americans dying from COVID-19, and he launched Operation Warp Speed, which put a vaccine in the arms of Americans with startling speed unlike anything ever witnessed. For 4 years, President Trump has been viciously attacked by the media, as well as by the far left. His critics were saying that his America First policy was racist, xenophobic, and harmful. But his policy was simply to stand up to China, stand up to Europe and the rest of the world, and to no longer let countries play America for chumps. President Trump renegotiated NAFTA and delivered the USMCA plan that brought manufacturing jobs back to the U.S. And in shaming Europe to start paying what they had agreed to pay in support of NATO, President Trump helped make NATO stronger and even more viable. And in demanding that China abide by the trade deals that it agreed to, and stop cheating on trade, and stop stealing intellectual property from creative American companies, the president put more of our people back to work, increased wages for workers, most for the first time in 40 years. And along with tax policies and deregulation resulting in less government red tape, the result, we saw the highest employment levels for women, Hispanics, and African-American workers in American history, along with an increase of, on average, $6,000 per household in increased wages. And when China bundled the containment of the coronavirus and then lied about its origin and impact, President Trump stopped travel from China weeks before even the scientists were saying it was a real threat. And for that act of courage, he was labeled xenophobic and racist. He showed strong leadership by shutting off an on-fire economy and closing the country so we could flatten the curve, as recommended by the epidemiologist. Then he did something that we are reaping the benefits of right now. He launched Operation Warp Speed, granting billions of dollars to pharmaceutical companies to accelerate the finding of a vaccine that would prevent coronavirus and allow us to start living again. Normally, finding a vaccine for a complex medical disease would take anywhere between 5 and 20 years. But in less than 10 months, not one, but 3 major companies rolled out a vaccine that is between 90 and 95% effective, with millions of doses being readied right away. Now consider, most vaccines are considered successful with a 50% or above efficacy rate. President Trump didn't accept the schedule that would be typical, 5 to 20 years. He put a private sector mindset and background to work, and we are now seeing the results in record time, which will save lives and businesses. China unleashed a virus. President Trump unleashed a vaccine. And even those who don't like him should have the decency to join me in saying, thank you, President Trump. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, then subscribe, and hit the notification bell below. Now, if you didn't like it, You ought to find a Ben Shapiro video to detox you with more facts.